want to kill you.
You wouldn't sleep at
I
night.
wouldn't sleep at night. I'd feel anxious.
But if you had to.
If I had to.
If
Weirdest interview.
Well, I'm very curious because you are both very recently in a video game. You've been in lots of video games as voice actors. And obviously Final Fantasy, Baldur's Gate 3, but now Expedition 33, which has been met with a tremendous amount of love. But you two are getting to interact now at conventions and stuff like that. Did you have much interaction when you were voicing for the video game?
With what, me and you?
Me and you.
I think we did.
We did. We met each other at BAFTA, because we're posh like that. And I saw Ben, recognised him for what he was. And and it was one of those things where I was like looking over and seeing if he would look over so that we could connect, and then see if he was looking too aloof or not, because I was socially anxious. And then you clocked eyes with me, I clocked eyes with you. We went whoosh, into a corner, because obviously we couldn't talk about it, and just went, we're both on this really amazing game, and I think it's going to be really amazing. It's quite amazing. And then the rest is history. Can you take this mic now?
I'll take this mic now. Thank you. You'd be like anything to get the mic away.
Get it off me.
We knew of each other,
Yeah.
through that time, but we never really our paths never really crossed.
No.
When, in like 2023, and I'd obviously heard amazing things about you from like friends and colleagues, and then so that moment where we first met, I think we instantly clicked.
Yeah.
And then during the recording process, often we'd kind of be in tandem with each other, so you'd go in and then I'd go in, and we'd hang out, and that chemistry, I think, translated into the game, and now we get to interact even more, and like this fandom is incredible, and I think they appreciate like how kind of playful we are with the fandom, because they can kind of see that we deeply care about it. We recognized this game was going to be special very early. We didn't realize that it was going to be so widely received,
right,
but we knew that it was going to be like really, really special. And we did this panel yesterday at PAX, and seeing a sea of red berets. I mean, just being here, seeing everyone in also.
I've seen 3 on the escalator since we've been here. I'm not even joking. They didn't clock us, so it was all good, but it was funny.
Yeah, and it was that you'll just, if you watch it back, just seeing it was absolutely remarkable, because this is a game that is about it's heartbreaking. It's a meditation on grief, art, what it means to be mortal, and everyone wants to dress up in French outfits with baguettes on their back, because it's a game that I think that inspires that love, and they see that Jen and I are silly, that we want to keep playing with the audience in that way, and we turned up to this IGN thing dressed in those outfits as well.
We did.
You did.
You
want to say anything about that?
I like berets. No, I think that's the thing, and I think it's such a serious game.
Yeah.
And it has emotionally resonated. It's quite a universally. It deals with a lot of universal themes. I don't think there's a single person on Earth, unless you're incredibly lucky and young or something. But like, everyone's gone through some kind of grief or loss by the time they hit adult age, and whether that's whatever kind of loss that would be, but we all understand that feeling. And I think the way that it's been written is so human, and I think if we turned up to every single event and were incredibly serious about it, it would be a bit much. But also, that's what I personally love about the game, is that it's so serious and so gut-wrenching to play, but then you can do it dressed in a baguette outfit, or a sack of patat outfit, and be like have your character having a breakdown while looking utterly ridiculous. And I just feel that sums this game up, and probably sums us up quite a lot as human beings.
It's such an incredibly grounded game. For like, the first 30 minutes are so intense, and I wasn't really prepared for that. And I used to review video games for a living, so I played video games non-stop for years and years and years, but like, that is an amazing opening to see this super fantastical world and environment, but then the emotions are so immediately grounded. It's devastating in the first 30 minutes. Like it gets its hooks in you in a way I don't know that I can really talk about a video game that has that much emotional depth that quickly.
Yeah. Take it in.
Hello.
Hey, Ben.
It was really fascinating watching the cadence of people play this game, because it almost happened over different weekends. Jen and I, we message each other all the time and very engaged in not just playing the game but also watching people play the game, because you always want to kind of gauge how people feel about it. In the first weekend, it was people playing that prologue. In the second weekend, it was people getting to the end of Act 1, and then it was Act 2, and then it was Act 3, and this game keeps piling on these very interesting moments. And as much as interesting, these very emotionally weighty moments, and it gave people these kind of milestones to say, are you at the end of the prologue, are you at the end of Act 1, Act 2, whereabouts are you? Because you kind of know what that means if you've played the game. But also, as serious as it is, you do have the gestural beaches. You do have these silly moments of joy and wonder and whimsy, which is so typical to Sandfall, and it's so French and so Guillaume and Jen. And I think those moments of joy make those moments really, really heavy. And it's, we are so lucky to be here, to be interfacing with people who have played the game, who have allowed that game into their hearts and want to tell us how much it means to them. And I had someone yesterday say, I lost my brother about 6 months ago, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I saw myself in Maëlle and Verso, and it allowed me to better contextualize the world in which I was living. It's the Hamlet holding a mirror up to nature moment, where you go, art has the power to do that, and even though it's not real, the themes are so real. And at the same time, you can then have the people dress up as Monoko or We've seen so many Esquier tattoos.
So many Esquier tattoos. But I think because he does provide this comfort, and I think it was really important for all of us to put something of ourselves in there. I know I did, and I think that's another reason, whether it's us or Jen, the writer, or Guillaume, the creator, all of us have kind of in some way put ourselves into this game, and I think that's why it also feels so personal, and I'm really proud of that.
You're both coming off of massive franchises, like you with Final Fantasy, you with Baldur's Gate 3, and I know this comparison has been drawn before, but you went from playing God's favorite goth princess
I like the goth in there. It's true.
To this very fairly optimistic and in a very dark world character. Was that an interesting switch for you?
It was. I think the difference between the process, certainly for Shadowheart to Maëlle, with Baldur's Gate 3, we had 4.5 years to develop this character.
Yeah. And
Shadowheart, this is very early Act 1 spoilers, and most people who are going to have played it, but she doesn't have memories, and so it felt a bit like a clean slate. Whereas with these characters, and with Maëlle, she's gone through this entire lifetime of trauma and a very difficult upbringing, and we had to get that clear, that cynicism, but also optimism, that hope, all of these layers, plus I'm not sure how spoilery we're going to go, but a lot of other depth going on. We had to get that in from the first word. We had to make that clear that she's gone through so much, and this world that she's living in, this universe that Jen and Guillaume have created, all of that history in the first word, and that was an enormous challenge in itself. Yeah.
You're really good in it.
So are you.
But I think you're as an outsider, as a fan of Jen's work, I think it's really extraordinary what you do with Maëlle. I think that in lesser hands, Mael would be played as 16, and you know, when some people come in and they play age, whereas like you play maturity, and it's the first line that Mael kind of like comes out with, talking about flowers, and you're like you want to give them to her before they wither and die. I think has so much personality and so much kind of like energy, and for those who continue to play Expedition 33, you experience a lot of, you see what Mael's true trauma is and where that comes from, and how she develops as this incredibly complex character. And we were gifted these characters because we are in video games, again, that we got to develop these characters over a long period of time. I had the same amount of time with Clive. It was like 3 or 4 years with him. Verso, not so much.
No.
And I don't know, like, I feel like the writing is so deft, and Verso only ever says stuff that, you know, matters, and there are a lot of the stuff is not said, and that's also the joy of, like, we don't just have to say stuff, it's what these characters don't say that's equally as powerful.
You mentioned being you were a fan of Jennifer's work, but it's interesting.
I don't know why I nodded.
That's true.
Yes,
he
was.
is.
Yes, he was.
It's interesting with it must be so interesting to be dealing with fans, not dealing with fans, but to be met with people who are such huge fans of both your works. But you mentioned, like, you know, trying to make a living as a voice actor and stuff. But when you have something like Baldur's Gate 3, where there are so many hours of gameplay, it's almost like 10 seasons of a TV show. You're going from what maybe you felt a little bit was obscurity, or not, at least not a ton of pay, to people having spent years of TV with you.
Yeah. We meet people. I think the most I've ever heard is 4,800 hours. It's a lot of hours.
A lot of time.
There's a lot of time, and that's the thing with video games, and the thing. So I played games as a kid. I had to stop because I got too aggressive after playing a lot of Soul Blade. And so my mum was like, please, for the love of God, no more video games for you. So stopped, and then after doing Baldur's Gate 3, started to play it because I wanted to see what all the fuss was about, frankly. And I now completely get it. And I suppose because it's an active media, like you create this character, you become very close to the character you've created, and you become, I suppose, because there's sorry, my brain is gone.
No, you're doing great.
because there's an intention, there's choices you make, and a sense of responsibility when you play it. You feel so tied to these characters in a way that I haven't really felt before with TV and film, and I completely understand why people are so passionate about games and the actors in it. I met Joseph Balderrama the other day because he's in Lies of P with my partner Alyona, and he plays Cody in It Takes Two, and I honestly, I'm still kind of losing my mind over him. And I've met so many celebrities now in green rooms of Comic-Cons and things. But Joseph Balderrama, amazing.
We're talking about the way, like, it's just the way that people are engaging with the art. If you are responsible for this person, you are actively engaged with them, and you're just reacting differently. It's not like they watched 4,000 hours, is that they were in those 4,000 hours. And I did film and TV before this. It was fun, but this is different. Video games is a whole different medium. The ways in which people want to play with you, engage with you, they want to know what you think about the character, they want to spend time with you, they feel like they have lived lives with you. Like, so many people come up to me and say they felt like they lived a life with Clive or Verso or whatever other game that I'm a part of. And also, there's such a variety of characters that we can play. Like, I also play a door in Date Everything, and the levels of parasocialness of that is completely joyful, because there are people who've never played Final Fantasy or never played Expedition 33, but they've played Date Everything, and they've lived they've lived with the 17 different versions of the anthropomorphized Dorian, and they love him for that because and it's so gorgeous, and some people will only ever know me as Dorian, and that's wonderful. But the way that they've engaged with it, I've seen other actors from that game have to sign the actual objects that they play.
Yes.
So I've seen people.
Liam didn't like. I can't remember what he plays, but he was signing.
Yeah, I don't know what, I can't remember what Liam plays.
Appliances.
I've seen people sign toilet seats or coat hangers, and Robbie Damon plays all the coat hangers, and so Robbie Damon is signing coat hangers as Hanks. Like, it's so silly and so wonderful, but the audience want you to play.
Yeah.
And that's why you get it when you meet people. Things that I've said or that my characters said, they've turned into memes, and they bring them to you and say, can you sign this for me? And they get so much pleasure and joy out of it, because it's more than just passively watching a TV show or watching a film. It's you are a part of it, and you're a part of the whole game.
Have you seen something that either of you've done and you've questioned that character? Like, because I'll be honest, I was playing Shadowheart was in my party, and then Shadowheart makes some choices that can go one way or the other, and I questioned my loyalty to Shadowheart in general for having that broad of
a morality
spectrum
scale.
Of, morality.
So I loved, I really like doing morally questionable things in video games. And there's an argument that our characters, very much do that, but I think as an actor, it's vital that we don't judge that, and we fully buy into their choices. However, as a player, I have not been able to do. I'm playing a Dodge run right now, and I'm trying so hard to be evil. And whilst I like murdering, it's the and that's a quote of the day.
You say it so much.
That's gonna be on the headline for the
I
video.
mean, no, it's fine. Honestly, if you needed to build a case, there's thousands of hours of me going murder. I love murdering, but I don't like the choices.
Your Honor.
And but I can't seem to get to the point where Shadowheart goes the other way. I can't do it, and I would like to, but I just can't do it.
If I play Mass Effect or anything like that, I will always be a Paragon run. Like, I will always be good because I want to be good. But I love it when games give you, like, a great example of like choice in games.
From real life,
It's all, yeah, when I'm just nasty in real life. But I love games that give you that ambiguity where there is literally no right or wrong. I think of like The Witcher 3 is a fantastic example of a game that gives you grey, and it goes, what shade of grey do you want? Terrible stuff's going to happen regardless. And when it comes to Expedition 33, yeah, my character comes into the game at a very particular point, and a lot of people are very vocal about how they feel about my character because he can go either way. And the beauty of how this game manifests and how the story develops is your view on it is really going to depend on where your empathy lies with the characters. There are many people who love my character and empathize with my character and understand why he does what he does. There are many who don't, and they really dislike him, and that doesn't upset me at all. I think it's quite beautiful in a way, because it means that we're doing a good job, and it shows you that we're showing all the different spectrums of humanity. And I think Mael's kind of similar, really, where they exist as very, very complex characters who are not right and not wrong. They're just living their own truth, and however you choose to see within that is super important.
WorldAnvil.com has some of the best tools you can find, whether you're building a brand new world or developing a character. There are over 106 supported systems, including D&D or your own personal system. World Anvil provides you solutions that really help any dungeon master, any game master to plan, to play, to present their adventures and their campaigns. They have an amazing campaign manager, digital storyteller, their own game master screen. All of this really helps up your game when you are a dungeon master or a game master. These tools really can help you. And for players developing your character, backstory, journals, Basically, everything that a player is looking for, both within a character sheet and beyond, you can find on worldanvil.com. And even if you're just a writer who wants to flesh out your story, create all kinds of assets that help you develop the scope of your vision, worldanvil.com helps you do that. And when you go to worldanvil.com and you use the code TODD, you get 51% off your yearly worldanvil.com subscription. You can click on the link in this video description. You have your own D&D show.
Yes.
You've gone to play Shadowheart in a D&D game and a couple times, correct?
I think just once. I think it was
Yeah, with High Rollers.
with High Rollers, which I adored. Yeah.
What was it like playing Shadowheart, but in D&D? You have all that compounded knowledge, having voiced basically every iteration of that character, and then you're kind of the best source of knowledge for who Shadowheart is.
Yeah, it's tricky because I'm not like I of course I know Shadowheart really well, but I'm also not her writer.
Yeah, exactly.
And part of me is like, I shouldn't be doing this. I'm not John Corcoran. He's Shadowheart. He's Baby Girl. If you've ever met John Corcoran, he's a lovely, gruff Irishman, and I think it's absolutely wonderful that he is Baby Girl. But I don't know. I feel very conflicted about it because as I say, I'm not the creator. I am merely the vessel. And I would love to do more D&D. We did one with my partner and I did another High Rollers live show where we created our own characters, and that for me was so rewarding. Like, we played two Irish fairies, and mine was a barbarian because I love barbarians so deeply. And you know, she just liked to bash things and was ragey, and like that I feel is the beauty of D&D, is this kind of like living vicariously through your characters, and I find that deeply fascinating.
It's interesting that you mentioned having to play Paragon, because in Mass Effect I just kind of had to myself, and I didn't do like evil playthroughs. I think I eventually did one.
Yeah.
But if I played Red Dead Redemption, I was the most evil person on the planet, and I don't know why that made me skew differently.
Is that because the consequences is really important in a video game? Which is
people
how,
definitely die in Mass Effect if you are evil.
Yeah, they do, and also like your opportunities change.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm playing when it comes to choices in games, I'm also thinking, what's the optimal route for me? What ending do I want? And I think video games have come a long way in saying you don't have to do good route in order to get good ending.
Yeah.
I think about Dishonored, the video game Dishonored.
Oh, I love Dishonored.
Right.
And Control I'm just obsessed with.
They're insanely brilliant games, but in Dishonored, the bad route is, right, it's rat infested and it's really bad.
It's super easy though.
So yes. So I was super sneaky in Dishonored and like never killed anyone.
You did?
Yeah, I'm like,
oh my God.
When I played Deus Ex as well, Human Revolution.
So this game was like 500 hours for you then.
Honestly, if I'd streamed it, people would have tuned out because it was so boring. It was so slow going. People would have said, "Ben, give up. It's just not working for you." But I was so determined. I did the same with Deus Ex, where I did a no-kill run.
Oh my God.
From the off.
I last like 10 minutes on Dishonored, and then I'm feeding people to rats, like, because it's so easy. You summon rats and they eat them.
You'll love Dishonored. Dishonored is so fun.
I would like to.
Oh my God.
The art style also really still holds up. I think it's a beautiful game. It
Very
plays so
high-end
well.
art, French art. I mean, which you are familiar with. It lasts for a long time because it is very specific in the art style of it.
And it gives this amazing kind of toolkit of things to play with, and you can change your character depending on how you want to play. So I was very stealthy, but if you want to, you can just do like really great bombastic things, which will end up in the city being overrun with rats and a really bad ending. Also, that game had the most insane voice cast. Like Susan Sarandon.
I know. Yes, I know. Yeah,
People are like, oh, the celebrity
and
casting.
they didn't even talk about it at the time. They're just like, oh, so you're just talking to like,
way.
yeah, it's Susan Sarandon.
Isn't like Chloe Grace Moretz in it as well? Like, The casting of that game is so great. Celebrity casting in games sometimes gets a lot of bad rap. It's done so beautifully in Dishonored because they just let the talent speak for itself. But there is one thing I really wanted to talk about, which was, have you seen? I think I saw it on TikTok. Someone has done a D&D rule set for Expedition 33.
Oh, already? Wow.
It was a fan-made one, and they've done the character stats. I'm sure someone will be able to find it.
Yeah.
It was so unbelievably cool. And when I was at Magic Con recently, I saw that people had already created their own Expedition 33 magic cards. Like the way that people want to run with this and take their hobby and insert it into D&D, it would be so cool to play. But I love Dungeons and Dragons. I have an actual play series called Natural Six. All of us describe it as millennial therapy. We have created characters. We've just created self-insert characters. It's also a great opportunity for you to make choices. I have a very impulsive character in my actual play series.
Same.
He's called Radian. He is a wood elf wizard who is a glass cannon, but he's going to go right up in the action. And he plays almost the opposite of how he should play. And he has this kind of fatalistic, nihilistic look at life, which is, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die, and so places himself in a lot of danger. And a lot of the party find that very verso. A lot of people find him frustrating, but it's a narrative. It's got narrative reasons based on the character, and it's funny playing a game where I'm not min-maxing at all. I'm not picking spells for my wizard where I'm trying to min-max that character. I'm picking spells that I think are flavorful and are directly reacting to things. Like, my character got blighted, so I picked Blight when I leveled up, and I found a narrative reason as to why he would have that. Normally I wouldn't have picked Blight as a level 4 spell, but I just thought it was really nice and flavorful. I picked Animate Dead because of his relationship with the dead, and it was just like, am I going to use Animate Dead? Probably not, but I just thought it would be really interesting to place myself in those positions, and it's fascinating to play out storylines and be a certain way that I wouldn't necessarily be in real life. I don't think I'm an impulsive person in real life. I'm actually quite reserved with my choices, but getting to do it in a space where the dice are going to decide is absolutely incredible, and I think it's one of the most cathartic experiences I have, where every single week for 4 hours I get to live out a life that I wouldn't normally do in a safe space with friends. I cannot recommend D&D enough to people. It's
millennial therapy enough.
Millennial therapy.
Yeah.
The chaos is really lovely, and you get to. I'm trying to get you into more live play shows for D&D, but yeah, it is kind of remarkable. You can be so you can take some element of yourself and kind of blow it out of proportion. I tend to like characters that are not good people. Even if I play Paladin, I play them petty, because they have this oath, and they're so like better than you, and they have like their whole viewpoint of the world is, this is how things should be, and I always find that to be not a good thing.
Bit of a job's worth, isn't it?
A bit evil. But I always play very low-key characters who they're their own victims of their own demise, like they're their worst enemy, and I love characters like that. But because I don't get to be like that in real life, because I'm not, I hope, not an evil person, but I tend towards evil.
We will see.
Yeah, we will see. There's
the space for Todd's evil.
There are plenty
evil
of years
arc
to go dark and evil in one's life. So, yeah, that's got to be. And so Natural Six is still going on. That show's continuing, and that's with you and some other friends of yours that are voice actors.
I think we've done about 38 episodes now. It's a homebrewed world called Reliquiae, made by Harry McIntyre, who is an astonishing DM, but also just a brilliant actor. He was in The Last Kingdom. Also, from video game fans, I know him from Xenoblade Chronicles 3, plays Noah, and I have Doug Cockle there as Geralt of Rivia, Doug. The amazing Holly Bennett, the amazing Aoife Wilson, and also Alex Jordan. Alex Jordan, Alex is incredible. Plays a kobold rogue called I, And Alex has this kind of joyful whimsy with what it's like to be a kobold that only knows kind of what it's like to be a part of a tribe and therefore doesn't have a name, so just calls himself I.
Oh,
and
wow.
He also has, he loves to really confuse Harry, so he has a familiar, which is an owl called You. So he's really so we have a joke in Natural Six, which is I the character, not the me, and it's this beautiful world that's kind of unfolding as we go, and it's set in a world where right at the beginning our characters find out that the gods are dead and we have been accused of their murder. And that's where we go.
It's a good hook.
So it's a really cool hook, and it's amazing to see a person that I care deeply about, Harry McIntyre, be so free and easy to improvise on the fly. I'm in awe of Harry's ability to keep so many characters in his head at the same time, to keep this entire world, to go away and to have imagined something from nothing. And it's also amazing when we do something at the table that surprises him, which is really joyful, because I feel like a kid who's just impressed their dad, you know. So, yeah, I love the show. We do it on YouTube, and we've done some live shows, and our community is amazing. I can't thank the community enough for sticking with us, and yeah, hopefully many more episodes to come.
What's the biggest illusion that you found when it comes to like acting and voice acting is acting and motion capture? Do you feel like there's a lot of misperceptions in terms of acting? Because you recently mentioned in an interview, like you don't make a lot of money, like especially starting out, it's really rough, and there's that false perception of success.
Yeah, absolutely. I think people think we're millionaires. I think that's the I was gonna say, other than Ben Starr, I don't know too many. Yeah, I think as well there's this misperception of how many hours it might take. We do max of 4 hours a day, and it's rare that you would do, I mean, some jobs you do every single day, but like it dribs and drabs. I think the other, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of other misperceptions where you have to kind of go, oh no, it's not that. I think that go on.
That we choose our jobs?
Oh yeah, no, we do not choose our jobs.
Oh,
we have very
yeah.
little control over our career.
Like I mean, both of us have been asked this question, which is, what was it like to? There is a choice in some cases, which is, you know, what made you choose Verso after Clive? And I'm like, I don't know, I auditioned, got the role.
Yeah.
But there was an active choice, which was saying yes to it and also engaging so much in it, in its promotion.
I just scratched them.
Ow! Ow! But we don't get to choose. Like Jen and I
Nor
didn't.
do I. Also, another one I read was someone was like, "Oh, Jen's agent is amazing," and my agent at the time, like, they didn't choose that. Like, that's not how that works either.
We're in a very fortunate position to be front-facing people for the games that we've been a part of. That is not an opportunity that a lot of actors get in video games. It's very rare that is a thing, because games are there to be enjoyed as a form of interactive entertainment. Acting is a part of it. There are games that we're a part of where acting isn't as important as the fundamental gameplay loop. Expedition 33 is an amazing video game because they have an incredible combat system that's engaging, and there is also an amazing story. But if the combat wasn't good, if the game wasn't good, then we wouldn't be able to be here talking on behalf of it. We are the lovely salt and pepper seasoning on a fantastic steak. And I love that people...
Béarnaise sauce, come on now. With the sauce.
Okay, fine. But like, okay. Oh my God! Like, I'm trying,
Like-
Jen. I'm trying to be impressive for the people at home. Don't be like that. Oh, edit it with a béarnaise sauce on a delicious steak. And it's fortunate that people want to come to us and express their love for this game, but also we are not the reason why the game is amazing. We are an aspect of why people enjoy this game, but the game is great, and we're going to be a part of some absolute stinkers, I'd imagine, in the future.
Loads, yeah. I'm sure.
You got any stinkers coming up?
Oh, I got 17. No. Yeah. As you say, we don't have control, and a lot of the time, you know, I recently got a job, and until I get to the what can I say? Until I got to the studio, I had no idea. No, there was a job that I remember after the first like 2 or 3 things, because they wouldn't tell me what the game was in the session. I go to Ben, what is this game? And you were like, oh, it's just that. And I'm like, oh, cool. Like, it's not like we're going, yes, I want to be in that one, I know what that is. We don't know. We sometimes will only get our characters' lines, let alone a whole script.
I am trying to change that for myself. I'm trying to curate God, this sounds awful. I'm trying to curate a portfolio of work that I'm proud of. I want to be a part of games that are like Expedition 33, that are like Final Fantasy, that are like Hades. I want to be in those really cool games because it's fun to be a part of something that people like. It's not fun to be a part of something that people don't like, because then people are quite mean to you. They can be mean. And as much as we absolutely embrace all the joy in this industry, you have to accept that if you're going to embrace all the joy, you have to accept that there is going to be equally voracious dislike of things when people don't like it, because that's what you get when people care. But I'm trying to make choices now based on games that I'd want to play, and Expedition 33 was a game that I would want to play. I feel like it was catered entirely for me. I'm a huge fan. I was raised on RPGs in the 90s. It's that basically. It feels fresh, it feels new, but it's ultimately based in a reverence for nostalgia. It's like a game that makes you feel like you're playing RPGs in the 90s. So I want to continue doing that, but the industry is set up where voice actors were for a long time, certainly in the UK, seen as post-production, glorified post-production, and now Jen and I are in an opportunity to go, ooh, maybe can you tell us what the game is before we spend 40 hours recording it?
Yeah, and I think also, we want to work with developers, and that was the beauty of Expedition 33, is that Samful, very small team, but they chose to fly over Jen and Guillaume and be with us in the creative process and respect our work and respect their work enough to collaborate with us. And we then, they took us to Montpellier. We went to their Christmas party. It was amazing, but we got to meet everyone there, and there is something so creatively fulfilling about that, because we knew we weren't seen as post-production. We knew we were seen as an integral part of this process, and it is then meant that we perform with a different, we're passionate about that game anyway, but I think when you feel respected, you add that layer of passion into your performance, and you just want them to succeed so much because you care about them and they care about you, so it just benefits everyone tenfold to collaborate like that. So I really advocate for that, and I really where I do have a choice in going, can I speak to the writer, can I talk to the developers, can we discuss this, because quite a lot of the time it's just you and somebody who's read the script the day before directing you. I've been in several games like that, and it's not as collaborative, and you don't get as much from it. And I think now going forward, that is definitely how I'd like to work.
There is an aspect of this industry that might never change, and that is that when you are recording something, often there will be a contract with a company which will be lines per hour, which is speed is the most important thing. I think often, if we're going to, the fact that I'm bringing this up is dangerous, but that's why I think a lot of companies would like to move to AI, because if ultimately you're looking for volume of noise, they're going to want to move to AI, because it means they can guarantee they don't have to do that, because robotically companies fundamentally see acting as a necessary evil to their video game. They think, oh, we don't need reality, we just need noise to fill out this game, because ultimately people just want to shoot stuff or whatever. So that's why there are some companies out there that do wish to pursue AI, because sometimes I have been in a booth and all they care about is getting 40 to 60 to 100 lines an hour. And you don't feel like you are creatively fulfilling anything. You feel like you are literally making noise into a microphone and it's just there. It's like you may as well just be just going, because that's all they care about. Is like, is it good? It's like, no, it's good enough. Whereas this game, we didn't have that. It was like we would not say yes to a line unless it was exactly the way that Guillaume wanted it. And it's hopefully those are the kinds of projects I want to work on, are the ones where it's not, please can you get 100 lines out, Ben? It's, can you do 20 lines that people are going to remember for the rest of their lives?
I mean, even I did a game called Wuthering Waves and played this fantastic character called Carlotta, and we were working with the devs and with the wonderful director Danny, and we took so much time over that character and really honed that in. And it's a different genre of game. It's not as narrative focused as something like Expedition, but the character is now completely, touch wood, but like as far as I'm aware, pretty beloved. And it, like, even if your game isn't an Expedition 33, you can still create such a beautiful, passionate fandom by investing in your actors and that process. It doesn't have to be, okay, that's that kind of game, therefore we'll focus on that. Focus on it even if it's a first-person shooter and you've got, really cool NPCs coming in and out. Like you invest in that, people will connect to it so much more. Yeah.
I've also seen with Expedition 33, so many people have said, how did they afford the actors?
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Which is like people going, how did they afford Jennifer English and Ben Starr? And I'm like, I don't know. Like actors are, they're not expensive. We just want to do really, really good work. But it was this idea that like we command a certain fee and be like, no, I'm this expensive. But I think people do see that. They see that voice actors are expensive. Like they're not expensive. They're not expensive at all. And I think, everything is relative. Some people might look at a fee and go, you make what an hour? But also bear in mind that you probably only do 4 hours a day and you probably only do that once a week. You put that with tax, you're making nothing. And travel and just living your life. It really isn't anything.
And the gaps between work. Massive.
Weeks.
A lot. Months.
Years.
Years.
Oh,
What's a bigger thing than years?
What's it?
2 years. Decades.
Centuries.
Centuries. Centuries between work.
I've had years.
Do you remember when you
between
went into when you your body was frozen cryogenically and you went that whole 100 years without actually working as a voice actor?
I am from the Victorian times.
Look at her improv. Look at her go. This is insane. This is good stuff.
Yes, and. Give me a farthing. That's it.
That's crazy.
I have a random question because weirdly enough, I was raised off of British television and radio, so BBC radio and oh my god, I just forgot this. Mind's Eye radio as well. So it was like Lord of the Rings and Peter Pan and Dracula and all that stuff. But there was one show I grew up with, which was Midsummer Murders. Do you think
Murders
is inevitable?
I'd love to be in it.
Because I know that you were in it, correct?
You were in Midsummer Murders? Were you murdered
does
or
every
you
British actor
murdering?
get sucked into that show inevitably? Because there's been like about 5 million people have died in a town of around 5,000.
So I'm going to say this. Midsummer is a county. It is not a town. I found this out, okay?
Okay.
Still, the murder rate is extraordinarily high. Where I was in an episode called The Sting of Death.
I love that you remember the name of the episode.
Of course I do. Why would I? It's peak TV. When you were in a British institution, I've done a couple of British institutions. I've done Midsummer Murders. I've done Death in Paradise, which is where you get to fly. They fly you to Guadeloupe, and you film out in Guadeloupe for like 2 weeks. But Midsummer Murders is the best show I've ever worked on because it's an institution and they know how to treat their actors. I was with like absolutely iconic actors. Griff Rhys-Jones. I chased Griff Rhys-Jones around a hedge maze. So Imogen Stubbs.
I love Imogen
I
Stubbs.
got to make out with Imogen Stubbs. Yeah. Yeah, like my childhood crush, Imogen Stubbs.
She was in that 12th Night.
She was in
12th Night. Like
Trevor Nunn.
Trevor Nunn's with Helena Bonham Carter.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that.
I know her daughter, and when that episode came out, her daughter messaged me going, "Why are you making out with my mum?"
Imogen Stubbs wrote a play that I got into drama school with, like as in like I did a little monologue from her play.
Good TV show.
You're welcome.
So yeah, I'm going to spoil it because I don't think anyone is going to watch it.
You'd be surprised.
I am the murderer.
I mean, the fact that you were chasing someone round a maze.
I could have been angry with them.
You're a murderer. Look at those eyes.
Yeah, I was a yoga teacher who'd been wronged, and Griff Rhys-Jones. No, hear me out. Griff Rhys-Jones is his family.
That is bad casting. You're not a yoga teacher.
Well, you're not a door either. So.
Namaste.
Listen, guys, can we just like I have range. Okay.
From door
so
to yoga.
This is.
Murderer, yes. Yoga teacher. Ridiculous.
You need to let me tell you why I killed people. Griff Rhys-Jones had a company. His family had a company of honey that claimed to have medicinal properties. They made a lot of money off this medicinal honey. They claimed that they could cure lots of things. My mum had cancer. Not my real mum, my in-world mum. And she thought that the honey could cure her.
Uh-huh.
And my character was sad and wanted to kill Griff Rhys-Jones and his family because they led her on. And so I killed people in such strange ways. I turned a man into a human candle.
Yeah.
Have you seen the one where Marty McCutcheon gets killed by a wheel of cheese?
No.
It's amazing. There's one. My favourite one is Alistair Petrie. So a really iconic English actor, Alistair Petrie.
Isn't he the head teacher in sex education?
Yes.
Yes.
He dies because he's crushed by an automatic door, like a very slow patio door. And it's one of the, if you can Google it, it's absolutely insane. He can completely save himself, but he's trying to get the controls like that while the slow patio door just like kills him to death. It's parochial murder in the best way.
Oh my God.
Do it.
You should.
I want to murder in Midsummer Murders. That's my goal in life.
Again, back to the murder. You want to murder.
I just want to murder.
It's a T-shirt
okay?
that someone needs to make for you.
I really like it. Fireballing strangers, best game ever.
I would like this episode to be called "I Want to Murder." It's just a picture of you.
It might be the new name of the podcast. Yeah, I want to murder podcast.
I would just like to clarify. In real life, no, because that would be stressful and morally wrong.
Why was morally wrong the second?
It is
What was the
immediately
technicalities
stressful.
of it?
Yeah, because you're trying to think like, okay, well, I've done this terrible thing, but also, how do I clean this up?
What I will say is, as a chronic people pleaser, like I literally like if Ben looks at me funny, I'm like, I've offended him, and I will have a sleepless night. So
You've centered yourself. You centered yourself on the murder of someone else, being like, it would hurt my feelings.
It would really hurt my feelings if I murdered anyone. I'd be very anxious about it. Also, murder is wrong.
Slow zoom.
A distant second reason why. You and I know you as a great friend. You are genuinely like, if I kill someone, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. And then 2 days later, also murder is wrong. Like, murder is wrong is, you are thinking about that afterwards. You're going, I just wouldn't sleep. You wouldn't get a good night's sleep.
Sleep is important.
Is this like an intentional murder or like an accidental? Because an accidental murder,
like a crime of passion, like rah. Like oh no, I think I'm quite reactive. Firebender.
if you were going to kill me, how would you do it?
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
I wouldn't want to kill you.
You wouldn't sleep at
I
night.
wouldn't sleep at night. I'd feel anxious.
But if you had to.
If I had to.
If
this interview.
if your God told you.
If my God, do I have special powers? Because
Yeah, sure.
then lightning, because I feel like that would be nice and fast. I don't know why I really quickly came to that conclusion.
Well, also hard to prove that it was you, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a icicle being like a really good murder weapon.
Oh my god.
I'd hit you over the head with a rock.
So specific.
Yeah. Oh, because the lightning wasn't specific.
Yeah, but lightning's very little pain. Like bish bash bosh, you're done.
So's the brick. You wouldn't feel the brick. You'd just be dead.
Do you reckon you'd be able to do it straight away in one shot? I feel like that's a bashy.
I don't know why suddenly you're really good with lightning. I've never seen you with lightning. I think I'm better with a brick than you are summoning lightning.
I disagree, and we've already established that a god is on my side. So
leave comments on the video to decide
also,
who's
My
better
god of
with
rocks
lightning
wouldn't
or
help.
brick.
I'd use earth magic, and by earth magic I mean I'd pick up a brick and just hit you over the head.
have you watched Avatar: Last Airbender?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with
Well,
you?
no, I have, but not enough to know what this reference is going to be.
I was just questioning if you were an earthbender.
And now you don't
Leave
know.
comments in the comment section.
Is and like I haven't really thought about it.
I'm fire.
You are. We're both firebenders. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We're spicy. You're a spicy Aries, and I'm a spicy Leo.
Yeah. One of the more joyful things about being friends with Jen is that when we love to kill. No. Well, there are so many bodies buried and we've hidden them. If there are any murders in your area that are unsolved,
Yeah.
with a brick or lightning, you know we've been there. That would be the Adventures of Brick and Lightning.
Brick and lightning is
Someone please make this into
The Adventures of Brick and Lightning. You have the power of a god, and I just hit people in the head with bricks.
Power of a brick.
I'm just a stone cold killer, and you are imbued with the power of Zeus.
I don't know why you're giving me the microphone. What were you saying about the joyful thing about being friends with me? I want to know that answer.
Yeah.
Whenever I say something that's a little bit, we're very honest with each other. So when we try and project a lot of joy into the world and make people feel as comfortable and happy as possible, but also sometimes we have opinions about stuff that we don't necessarily want to share publicly, and Jen and I have become those people where we confide in it, and it's that this thing's really annoying me, and then you'll just message back going, "Oh, my spicy Aries queen," which I really like. It's a beautiful friendship where if something has really kind of pissed me off that I don't know how to feel about, I'll kind of vent to you, and you'll tell me whether it's a thing that I'm just overreacting to or not.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. Yeah, and he is a spicy Aries queen. There is no doubt about it. No problem.
Is there it's a two-part question. And you don't have to answer this because I don't want to end anyone's careers. What's the worst note you've ever gotten from a director? And also, what's the worst question you've ever gotten from a journalist? Because you've been through this. You've been through a lot of interviews, and you've obviously been through a lot of acting. But has there been a note that maybe cracked you up because you didn't know how to take it serious, or it was just more energy, low energy?
More energy, low energy. There's rubbish in it. But I don't think you're going to end our careers with that. I think we can safely say we've worked with very brilliant directors. Mm-hmm. Very brilliant directors. Some where you're I can't believe I'm working with you. And some really bad ones. And I feel part of being an actor is being director-proof and translating said direction into something actionable and useful. I remember there was one director really early on in video game career, and on a game that I've not been credited with, thank goodness. And it was a lot of an upward inflection on the second word, but also louder on the third, and then I would a downward inflection on the last word, and I'm am I a violin? What? Those are my least favourite.
This is very specific.
Yeah.
There's something I did, and I hated every second of it. Actually, I said yes to this job, and I don't know why I said yes to this job. And every single waking moment of doing it was I wanted to hit someone over the head with a brick. Because the director was really wonderful, and clearly is a very successful director. But we just didn't get on, and what they were asking of me was just not what I did in the audition. Also, a thing happened. This was an annoying thing. I went in and I auditioned for this role, and they gave me the role, and then they also said, "Can you also do this role at the same time?" So in doing so, what we found ourselves in conflict where I had come up with a personality for this character, but they also wanted me to have this personality, and so we did the one that I didn't audition for first. I went, well, I didn't audition for this character. You've given it to me, but now they need to sound texturally different to this other one. So I wasn't playing the truth. I was playing the opposition. I was going, how can this character not sound like all the reality that I brought to this one? And we all agreed that like it's not going to go anywhere and whatever. But it wasn't the director's fault. They were really, really good. It's just we just didn't get it because of what I was offered at the time, and that was a very sobering and humbling, a genuinely humbling experience where you come in, you feel like really positive about it, and you go, I don't think this is good, guys. You're going to have someone better at this, than me. So yeah, I wanted to hit everyone with a brick. Questions wise, I get some terrible questions all the time. You become one thing in this industry. I think we've learned. We've done big long publicity days for stuff. We've been asked countless questions. Is how to give good answer. Like you learn how to give good answer.
You're really good at answer. No, you're great at answer. I feel like I am less good at answer. My brain just goes, like, it's done it on about 75 times in this interview where my brain just goes, no, just words, and I'm like, what? And then I'll zone out. It's called ADHD. Let's be real. But like, I'll zone out and be like thinking about SpongeBob SquarePants. SpongeBob SquarePants.
Great answer.
It's a really good answer. I feel like I'm better at vibes. That's it. That's all I want to say.
I like doing interviews with you. This has been the best part of Expedition 33 for me, is getting to do interviews with you.
You're being really nice to me today, and I love it.
I'm always nice.
You are actually.
Actually, am I? Yeah, I think I'm nice to you. But I would, getting to do this with you and getting to talk about this game in a way, it's great. Like I don't like really being interviewed by myself. I don't think I'm particularly interesting by myself. I think I'm more interesting when I'm sitting next to you because we get to talk about murder.
We get to talk about murder and lightning and bricks. So am I.
Yeah.
No, I do. I think that has been genuinely. I'm not just piggybacking so I look nice, but like doing stuff with. See, not good at words. Eloquent, bad.
You've been talking constantly from place to place for months. So like you're allowed to
be rubbish at it. No, but I love doing press with Ben, but also just hanging out with Ben. It's really lovely, and it was one of those things that when we met in that time at BAFTA, throwback, we did just go. Best friends. But you don't get that all the time. Some people are dickheads, so like we're really lucky, because imagine having to do that press day and the vibes were low.
Oh my God.
I would not like to be those celebrities that hate each other and have to do stuff together. Like that would be really painful.
6 hours, 7 hours we did for Expedition 33. We did this amazing press day, and it was super fun. But you get to a point where you think, I don't know any more words. I think I've said all the words I've ever learned in my life.
You are really eloquent, and I do and I'm there just like, yeah, Ben, what he said.
That is a great impression of you.
Why do all the characters I play they're like a lot of them are very like elegant or serious, and I am just
a goof,
a gremlin?
Shows you're a good actor.
Thank you, but no, you are very eloquent, and I just go like
What's
that's fine, and that's okay. That's okay.
You have all this accumulated knowledge being actors, and how do you apply that to maybe role playing, or people who are looking for advice to play better characters in games like D&D, or to make interesting choices for character, because it's a different type of storytelling, but it's exactly what you're doing all the time.
Restraint. I feel like I got taught this really early, actually, in improv. I'm not saying I'm an expert in improv, but I was told about this when we were doing. I did lots of youth theatre, and the idea of it's this fallacy that doing something is interesting. Actually, sometimes not doing something is just as interesting. Actually, knowing when to pull back. You don't have to, especially when you're playing D&D, you don't have to use all your cantrips once you got them. You don't have to constantly, just because you've got all these spells, you don't have to show them. The opportunity will present itself, much like any sort of normal human conversation. Human beings improvise every single day. We're improvising right now. I didn't know what I was going to say. This is all it is.
Yeah.
Human interaction is improvisation. That people kind of get nervous when they're on stage because they feel like they have to be interesting.
Like, you didn't get any of these interview questions ahead of time. We were just like, hey, do you
No.
want to talk? And you're like, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, and now there's a whole string of murders that have happened across America that we're now guilty.
Lightning and bricks.
Damn you, God of Lightning and Brick Boy.
Bricks and water.
I feel like I don't know. Like this is bad. This is yes anding and going back to the murder section. But improvisation is
Yes, and.
it is.
Why are you throwing it?
You
to
just
me?
said
I'm
something, and I'm like, I'll pass it over.
Murmuring. Just let me mutter in peace.
But and also like from a D&D perspective, my favorite thing is getting a nat 1 or an insight. That's my favorite. A critical failure is probably one of the most interesting things you can have.
Love to
That's 'cause you
fail.
hate yourself.
Well, I rolled a nat 1 on an insight when we were talking to the head of the Council of Equals in Baroon, which is this very very important woman, and I rolled a nat 1 on an insight, and I thought that she was in love with me. So then I instead of me figuring out what the vibes that she was giving me, which was you need to leave, I just suddenly was like, I think she fancies me. And so I was then playing that intent, because failure sometimes is an opportunity to do something else. And I love narratively when my character cannot for the life of him. I've got a +7 to +7 to magic. I couldn't hit chromatic orb for the life of me for about 4 episodes. So I just stopped using it. I started doing saving throws because I just couldn't.
The old one or the new one?
I think the new chromatic orb is OP.
Oh, it's way OP.
We're actually nerfing it.
I played a wild magic sorcerer for like 3 days straight for like 24 hours, and I was just, as long as you upcast it, you're always going to get doubles. So you're just bouncing around the room like
we're going to nerf it in our game, because in the most recent episode I basically killed everyone with upcasting it, because so we're going to do it. This is we're going to nerf it so that every time it bounces you lose a die. Because narratively we want it so that like the orb is bouncing but its power is moving around.
Still weaker than Fireball, but
yes, you're right.
Favorite.
You're right, but like
The ones you love.
it's way weaker than Fireball.
Yeah.
But I think in the scenarios where we're in caves right now, so I'm not just going to be like throwing a Fireball out. But yeah, we'll talk about this. It's really interesting.
There's a whole video about chromatic orb in this.
It's it's an incredible spell that has turned into something way cooler. Yeah. And I was just dealing insane amounts of damage with it. Actually, I did Wall of Fire. Oh my god! Like when you get to, I'm level 8 now. The level 4 spells are absolutely just insane.
Yeah.
When you suddenly go from like having those spells to this, I feel like I am so powerful.
Yeah, level 3 is when things get interesting. Level 4, chromatic orb. Yeah, that's what I found too. Where it was something I never ever did. But once you upcast, you're always going to get 2 doubles, which means you're always going to bounce to something else. Yep. And then you feel like Yondu from Guardians of the Galaxy. Yep. You're just bouncing chromatic bullets off of walls and everything else.
Do you reroll the damage every single time?
Yeah, of course. You have to.
Oh my god!
That way you have to know. But you still, if you upcast it, you have so many dice. You're going to get 2 8s or 2 3s or 2 2s.
I love. Sorry, this has turned into a.
I'm so sorry.
Chromatic orb has become just like my crutch, and I think because I narratively don't like relying on the same spell again and again and again and again. It's sometimes it's too powerful, because if I'm casting that at level 3, it's just like, oh, there you go.
When something becomes almost like too fun or too necessary, it actually becomes a design problem. You know, kind of like your Paladin Smites were a little out of control there for a while. And
But yeah, it's. I think just narratively for us, we're going to kind of nerf it a little bit, just so I'm not tempted to use it every single time.
Yeah.
But you know, never mind. Anyway, improv.
but improv.
Sorry, you go on. What do you think about Chromatic Orb?
Hate it. The loser. Just fireball in a cave. No, going back to the original question.
Oh my
before,
God.
chromatic. I'm joking. Chromatic orb away, baby.
Thank you, baby.
No, I think whether it's improv or video game acting or theatre acting or all the other types of acting, those are the only ones. I do think there's a tendency with some people to really enjoy the sound of your own voice and be like, I'm gonna show off with every line. And I think if you want to do really beautiful, nuanced performances, stop doing that and start thinking about who you're talking to. And I know that's a really simple, basic bit of advice, but I feel like a lot of actors need to adhere to it. It's about reaction, and it is about yes-anding, and you're not. Yes, we're professional show-offs, but only to an extent. We're really there to react and respond, and to listen to the other person. My personal joy of Mael is not just because Mael has a nice sounding voice. No, it's because I get to play with Verso, with Gustav, with Esquier. Like it's their relationships and the nuance of that, and how she feels about the world around her, and that's how you create beautiful layered characters. Not by you're not this monolith. You're a part of a world, and you will do so much better and have so much more fun if you are reacting to those around you and being generous with that than just worrying about, oh, do I sound good? Am I doing a great job? Am I doing the good acting? No, you ignore that. You respond to those around you, and you'll just have so much more fun.
May I say something?
No.
You are very inspiring, Jen, so I wanted to say something on top of what you already said. That idea of like always wanting to be interesting, I think if everything you say is interesting, then nothing is interesting. Otherwise it just and I think there is sometimes that is a trap that some actors can fall into by wanting every single line to be the most interesting version of that line, as opposed to actually there are lines in Expedition 33 where you know your place in the scene. If the purpose of the scene is to move it along, that and what doesn't have to be the most interesting and whatever. It serves a purpose to tee other people up in that way, but sometimes this has to be the best version of saying that line. I mean, sometimes it doesn't, because conversations aren't constantly at one level. They're up and they're down, and that's the cadence of humanity. But you know, when you are tackling a line in its, sometimes when you see the Excel spreadsheet, you want that to be the best version of that line, and sometimes it isn't. It's just an and what. You know, it doesn't have to be incredible.
Well, Brick Lightning, thank you for being on the I Want to Do Murder podcast.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Cast fireball in a cave.
Thank you so much for taking the time. It's been so fun watching Natural Six and seeing the different episodes, and obviously very talented voice actor as well. But I more people playing D&D and role-playing games always makes me happier. And I've been to London so many times and not been able to connect and to see you. So thank you for coming to Seattle.
Thanks.
But you do such a fantastic job in Baldur's Gate 3, and the fans are obsessed and in love with Shadowheart, and now you have this great new character in Expedition. I'm so glad things are taking off for the both of you. So thank you so much for taking the time and for being in this interview. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Thank you. If you want to support more videos like this, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment about your own D&D and acting advice, and also we have a Patreon page where you can help support other video interview content like that. That allows us to fly around the country, conduct these interviews, and create playtest materials you can use in your own games. Thank you so much for watching.